Howdy y'all, I hope you guys are all doing well, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope you guys are healthy. Today's video, I'm going to be bringing you a talking point video, so it might get a little boring, but it is about something that's really prevalent in today's, fashion climate, which is the streetwear collaborations with streetwear brands and designers with high-end luxury brands, potentially why they actually came about, and just kind of talking about it as a whole. Now, I'm talking about things specifically like Stussy with Dior, Fear of God with a brand that I am too afraid to pronounce, Joshua Vides and Fendi, Supreme and Louis Vuitton, Dior and Jordan, Virgil being appointed as creative director of Louis Vuitton, even Lil Huddy, the E-boy, being associated with Celine, and then lastly, even Supreme collaborating with Yohji Yamamoto, one that I never thought would actually happen. So I don't really have enough time to tackle each one of them individually, but I definitely think it says a lot about the fashion industry as a whole, at least right now. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Josh, and thank you guys for tuning in if you're coming back. If you are brand new, I hope you like what you watch, and I appreciate your time, and I hope you consider subscribing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. As a preface to this video, I just wanted to make it very clear and very apparent that I do not work within the fashion industry. I am not involved in the fashion industry whatsoever, and everything I say is all my opinion and definitely based off of observations and just my interpretation of everything going on right now. Nothing I say is really fact, it's more so very debatable, and if you want to debate, I very much encourage that. So in the comments down below, feel free to debate, keep it civil, or if you want to go through my DMs, feel free, let's have a conversation, and I encourage everybody and anybody to just reach out. All right, I have my notes right here. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes of the video. So growing up, all I ever really heard and my perception of high-end luxury brands was that it was for older people who had made their money, who had reached this level of success, or maybe the families of the people who had made their money. People who have a lot of money buy luxury things. That's really what I associated with everything, and it wasn't really for me because I grew up in like a middle-class family. Not really, I didn't really have too much disposable income, my family didn't either, so a lot of the things we purchased were very simple, and I always thought that luxury items were unattainable, which is very wrong. There's always saving, there's always other things that you can do. As I've grown older and progressively paid more and more attention to the always rapidly changing fashion world, maybe in the past 5 years or so, maybe more than that, there have been a huge change in direction in a lot of the luxury brands, which is really interesting to see. Some brands that are originally known for their prestige, their heritage, their opulence, been around for over 100 years sometimes, are taking note of an entity that has been present for ages, and that's streetwear and street culture. Streetwear and street culture has existed for decades now, and now it's really interesting to see that the larger brands that are known for being like these posh, rich people brands are taking note of something that is very much rooted in youth culture. Now, I am fully aware that collaborations between two brands to create a product that is a product of both an equal injection of both brands or multiple brands is not new. Very, very, very old concept. A lot of people do it, and a lot of people have been doing it for decades as well. However, it's very interesting to see that two completely polar opposites in the fashion world are doing these collaborations. These high-end luxury brands with brands that have kind of street culture infused into them, as well as independent artists. Now, I'm not going to go through the individual subcultures that I'm referring to here because there are simply too many, and for time purposes, I want to keep it as brief and condensed as possible. But street culture and streetwear are kind of going to be the overarching term that I'm going to be using in this video. But luxury is no stranger to trying and emulating a given subculture without a collaboration. A lot of times, high-end luxury brands will be like, we're trying to make it look more grunge, we're trying to make it look a little bit more hip-hop, a little street. which, as I say it, it sounds kind of like an old person thing to say. But what better way to incorporate a subculture into a collection or a brand than to directly go to the prominent brands of that subculture and try and reach a larger audience more authentically. And you can really see that in a lot of things like Supreme and Louis Vuitton. Or Dior and Stussy. Those are like the two kind of biggest ones because they are with two of the biggest brands in my eyes. But let's take Dior and Stussy. Dior could have just made street clothing. They could have, and without the input of Stussy. However, it was a way better business decision to actually get Stussy, and so now you have the reputation and the heritage of Dior combined with the street cred of Stussy, and any way you word it, it just sounds like a good idea. I mean, on paper, it sounds like it'd be really cool. And the fact of the matter is that older brands are recognizing the impact of social media marketing and youth culture, trying to bring together completely different audiences to be able to appeal to larger numbers. It's kind of a brilliant idea if you think about it. Now, moving on to what exactly I think about this whole thing, I actually really enjoy that street culture and streetwear is getting more recognition. It's getting recognized by people who decades prior maybe wouldn't even have batted an eye to people who were dressing in street clothing. But I do know that with these collaboration with luxury brands, there comes a significantly inflated price point, which kind of can, depending on who you are, it can alienate some people. It can make people feel like they can't afford it and street culture is being kind of appropriated in a way. It's kind of unavoidable, but it really just depends on the consumer at that point. The heart and essence of streetwear, in my eyes, is buying local, buying on a budget, and still constructing a style based on the music you listen to, based on the people around you, based on the way you live. And that, in my eyes, is streetwear, street culture. I very much respect the progress and success of brands and artists like Joshua Vides, Stussy, even Virgil. As much as I kind of talk trash about Virgil a lot, or I have before, the line between luxury and streetwear each day continues to be more and more blurred, and part of me can't help but think that streetwear, if done incorrectly, can really be a wreck. Like, if there can be like moments where collaborations aren't a good thing, especially if kind of aesthetics clash. They kind of have to balance it out. They kind of have to be very careful about it, but so far I think they've done a pretty fair job at it. I mean, honestly, since I don't spend my money on those things, I don't really have too much to say. Like with the Louis Vuitton and Supreme collaboration, I didn't buy anything, couldn't afford anything, so I don't really care what they make, but it seemed like it was received really well. Now, whether that's because of it's Supreme and Louis Vuitton, or because it genuinely looks good, is really up to the buyer or the consumer. I'm not a particular fan, but again, everybody has their own tastes, everybody has their own opinion, and that's perfectly okay. One thing I really hope is that there isn't a, like, using streetwear in high-end luxury becomes a gimmick. I hope it doesn't get outplayed, which it very well may, but we'll just have to see in the coming years and the upcoming collaborations. I am very, very interested in what you guys think, so definitely put them in the comments below if you want, or if you want to DM me directly and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. My DMs are open to you guys, and thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate your time, I really do. And like, comment, subscribe, do what you do, and until the next video, I will catch you guys later.